YouTube? Welcome to the Aviators. So today I thought I'd do a video about talking on the radio. So the biggest thing I hear from new or student pilots is, man, talking on the radio, it gets so... It gets so crazy, and they're telling you to do this and telling you to do that. Well, it doesn't have to be that hard. And, you know, most controllers are pretty decent people. I know a few of them, and never met one I didn't like. So that's a good fact. The other fact is, well, actually, let me tell you a story. My worst controller story. So I was in my Bonanza, and I was flying down to Colorado Springs. And about 25 miles out, 30 miles out, I flip up their northern approach.
Over 28 Kilo Yankee front start, left turn to the south approved, runway 26, go for takeoff.
Fix the radio. So, you know, I tune in about 30 miles out, and I'm listening to this controller, and she's rapid fire. I mean, she's talking so fast I can't understand a word she's saying. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, here we go. You know, I'm going to have to ask her to repeat 5 times. She's going to get all pissed off. And so anyways, 20 miles out, just like you're supposed to, outside of Charlie Airspace, I radio up. I'm Bonanza 18368. I'm 20 miles to the north at 8,500 feet, transitioning north to south through airspace. And she comes back like she's selling me a cow. She sounds like an auctioneer, right? And so I tried to gather what she was saying. I didn't get it. So I came back on the radio. I said, Bonanza 18368, could you repeat that? I couldn't understand you. Same thing, blah, 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 blah. And so I was a little taken back, and there's other pilots calling her, and other pilots are asking her to repeat. So it's like it's a game to her or something. I don't know. Anyway, so I said to her, I said, you know, Bonanza 18368, I said, you know, could you slow down? I can't understand what you're saying. So over the radio, I hear her say, Bonanza blah, 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 blah. And I didn't hear it again. And I said, so I started to get a little pissed off. And so I said, well, all right, Bonanza 18368, I said, you know, there's one soul aboard. I got 3 hours of fuel. I said, you know, I listen about as fast as I talk, and so, you know, I'm happy to burn all 3 hours of that fuel 1 ounce at a time, asking you to repeat. I said, my intentions are to fly north-south through your airspace, and unless I hear otherwise, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I said, I sat there and I waited, and about 30 seconds later, right about that time I was starting to be worried about being a smartass, a guy comes on the radio and he says, Bonanza 18368, approved as requested, have a nice flight. Furthermore, do not be afraid to ask somebody to repeat themselves over and over and over again. And unless you absolutely understand, you can't forget you're the pilot in command, so you're the one that has to operate your aircraft safely. Aviate, navigate, communicate, right? So I'm going to kind of walk you through what I'm doing here. I'm just approaching our runway here. A quick flight over to Erie, Colorado. Today I've got to get some bolts for the prop on that Luscombe. So that's what I intend to do. It's like old home week out here at the airport. Everybody's waving at me. Anyways, so the first thing we're going to do is grab some ATIS. That's the weather information.
Visibility 10. Sky conditions 15,000 scattered, 2,000 scattered. Temperature 9, dew point -4, altimeter 3006. Expect visual approach runway 26, IFR departures 17. Notice to airman obstruction tower light. Out to service 9 nautical miles, southwest front range tower 265.7 feet AGL. As on contact information uniform. Information.
Okay, so we've got uniform. And that's important because when we're talking to the tower, we're going to be very simple. We're going to tell them who we are, where we are, what our intentions are, and that we have the current airport conditions. So follow with me on the radio here and we'll get her done. So we're on front range ground 124.7. I'll call them up. Front range ground, November 3105 Lima. I'm holding short at Alpha 7 for a 26 departure. I've got the current ATIS information, and I'll be east and then north around Bravo.
3105 Lima, front range ground, 26 XV Alpha.
26 via Alpha for 3105 Lima. So you notice when you're talking to ground or anybody on the radio, you're always going to repeat their instructions. That way they know you heard them. And if there's any deviation from what they said, they'll tell you. So I'll bring you guys back along when we get ready to take off, and we'll do it all again. Okay, so our run-up's complete, and we're going to taxi over here to Alpha 9. I've switched over to tower. I'm now monitoring ground. And same thing, I'm just going to tell them who I am, where I am, and what I want. And when they give me instructions, I'll repeat those instructions. And that's really all there is to it. So I think people make it a lot more difficult than it is. But let's go ahead and do it. Front range tower, RV 3105 Lima is holding short at Alpha 9 for a 26 departure. Now he's going to come back and tell me how he wants.
Lima, front short, hold short, 26, landing traffic.
Holding short 26 for landing traffic, 3105 Lima. So when he gives me my clearance, he'll likely tell me either a left turnout or a right turnout. He'll basically say left or right departure. And that's all he's saying is, I want you to go left out of the pattern, or right out of the pattern, or left out of the pattern. And if you're thinking about it in terms of just, you know, what's he saying to me, and you're not sure, just ask again. And like I said, these guys are, you know, these air traffic controllers, I mean, they're here for safety. So however many times you got to ask, that's what you got to do. I got an airplane landing. Man, he looks slow. It's an RV too. Either that or the wind's howling. I don't think the wind's all that. But there he goes. Pretty landing. Okay, he bounced. Not the end of the world. I've never done that. And he should give us our clearance right after this airplane gets off the runway. Okay, oil pressure's good, oil temperature's good, fuel's good. Volts are good.
54 Charlie, turn left at Alpha 7, taxi on. And 3105 Lima, front shot, right down departure approved, runway 26, clear for takeoff.
Clear for departure 26 with a right hand turnout, 3105 Lima. So he said right hand departure, so that means at the end when we're at a safe altitude, we're going to take a right hand turn and follow the Bravo around. And I'll keep you guys with me for takeoff. Okay, EGTs are good, CHTs are good, oil pressure's good, temp's good, and we're ready to roll. Nose is up. Not bad, we're off at the 500-foot mark. Okay, we're building speed. EGTs are good, CHTs are good, oil pressure's good, temp's good. 2300 on the RPM. And here goes our right hand departure. Okay, so the cool thing about today is we're going to fly over to a non-towered airport. And so when you're back with me, I'll walk you through how we do that. All right. Okay, so keeping on with our current theme, we're currently 18 miles directly east of Erie Airpark, and we're flying underneath a 6,000-foot Bravo shelf. And so with non-towered airports, a lot depends on what's around it. This particular airport has 4 or 5 little airports around it, so there's always a ton of traffic. You're going to hear them coming over the radio at any time. And so I like to give fair warning, so I start calling at about 10 miles or so outside of the airport, and I'm going to tell them who I am, I'm going to tell them what I am, I'm going to tell them where I am, I'm going to tell them what my altitude is, and what my intentions are. So an example of that, right now we're 16.5 miles away from the airport. So if I called out right now, I would say RV 3105 Lima, that's who I am. I'm currently 16.5 miles to the east. I'm at I'm at 5,700 feet. I'm going to enter on the 45 for a left-hand downwind to the runway I want to land on, okay? So that's a lot of information. So I'm 16 and a half miles out, 16 now, 15 now, and I'm going to enter on the 45 for whatever my leg is going to be. So it's going to be a left-hand downwind for 1.5, so left-hand pattern. And so typically I'll start calling about 10 miles and every 5 miles thereafter. And I'm going to, as I'm in the various legs of my landing, I'm going to tell them what legs I'm in and where I am relative to the airfield. So if you think of it in those terms, it's really pretty easy. It's a safety thing. You just want people to know where you are if they're flying around. A lot of times, you're just getting traffic that's transitioning through the airspace, and so they're listening to that frequency because they want to know if there's anybody taking off or, you know, going to get in their way. So I like 10 miles out. It's kind of how I roll. Okay, so we're ready for a radio call, and here goes. Erie Airport traffic, RV 3105 Lima is 10 to the east at 5,700 feet. We're going to enter on the 45 for a left-hand downwind 15 Erie. So when you kind of break it down into its kind of simplest forms, it's pretty easy to you know, not get tangled up with what should I say, what shouldn't I say. And listen, I mess up radio calls all the time. It's like how I do life, mess up and over again. So this particular airport I haven't been to in a long time. Probably, I can't even remember the last time, to be honest. But anyway, so our next call, we're at 7.5 miles. Our next call will be 5 miles. And one thing I didn't cover was the airport you're going into. I like to say it on the front and on the back of my communication. You know, if somebody misses the first part of my transmission, you know, maybe they'll get the second part so they know that what airport I'm talking to. That's another thing. There's a lot of airports around here, and some of them share the same frequencies. So you can get cross chatter at some of these airports, and it gets confusing. Okay, I'm at 5 miles, so here comes my next radio call. Erie area traffic, RV 3105 Lima is 5 miles to the east at 5,900 feet, 5,900 feet. We're inbound for the 45, left-hand downwind 15 Erie. And so I'm coming in from the south of the airport just a hair so that I can get on the 45. That's a safe entry into the downwind leg of my pattern. Now flying this RV, I know I'm screaming along right now. I'm indicating 140 and my ground speed's about, well, it was 179. I'm down to 139 right now. I know that about 16 inches of manifold pressure gives me my 100 miles an hour, which is my flap deployment speed. And so about 3.5, 4 miles out, that's when I start slowing down. I'm south of the airport right now, south and east of the airport, and I'll call my 45 leg. Erie area traffic, RV 3105 Lima is 3 southeast of the field, entering on the 45 for left-hand downwind 11 Erie. Okay, so there's 100 miles an hour right now. Happy with that. Still at 5,800 feet. There's the field. 2.3 miles out. I can't believe I have to get custom bolts for the Luscombe. It's going to be sweet though. I'm going to do another video on that so you guys know what's going on with it. I get a lot of questions about it. And I'm actually lined up on an old runway right here. And the flaps go all the way in. now I do my next radio call now that I'm midfield left-hand downwind 15. Erie area traffic, RV 3105 Lima is midfield left-hand downwind 15 Erie. Carrying 80 miles an hour. We'll grab the weather again.
Taxi 3 and taxiway Alpha.
Never be too shy to go around.
Automated weather observation. 1648 Zulu. Weather. Wind 09er. 0 at 5. Visibility 10. Clear below 12,000. Temporary.
Almost a direct crosswind. So either way we go, we're going to be. We're going to have a direct crosswind. So here's what it is. Okay, I'm 45 degrees off the numbers. I'll start my base turn and I'll make a radio call. Erie area traffic, RV 3105 Lima's, turning left-hand base for 15 Erie. Carrying 90 all the way, or I'm sorry, 80. Big old bird off the end of the runway. Don't want to run into him. Erie area traffic, RV 3105 Lima's turning final 15 Erie.
Erie traffic, Catawba 929er Alpha Charlie is approximately 3 miles to the northwest. We'll be entering right downwind for runway 15.
Okay, our last radio call is that we're going to be clear of the active. And we're going to be clear at Alpha 3, so that's what we'll tell everybody. Erie area traffic, RV 3105 Lima is clear of the active, Erie. Okay, so I get a lot of questions about radio and what's the best way to do it. That right there is my best advice. So thanks for flying along with me today, and until next time.